my sister told me that if I could get skinny, that there would be this, this possibility of getting a hand job from her friends in the jazz dancing club, a blow job even. I guess all the jobs in the world really, but it was only fair, she said, that her friends had brothers and she'd already done her part. But regardless of what my sister said, everybody waited for me to get skinny. And my father said that it could be any day now. And my mother said that if I got skinny, it would improve my moods. But she also promised that if I got skinny, she would buy me a new wardrobe so the Catholic kids down the block would stop making fun of me. On December 18th, 2012, bioethicist Daniel Callahan published his article, Obesity, Chasing an Elusive Epidemic, which states that it is no longer socially acceptable to be overweight. And in order to fix our nation's epidemic of obesity, the people need to start stigmatizing overweight Americans. He states that only through intense social humiliation will overweight Americans begin to lose weight. Social stigmatization is not fixing this epidemic. It is only making an already discriminated against population to feel less than human. Snacks by Sam Lipsyte. Well, I was fat for the town, for the county. I was known as fat shit, lard ass, tits, and tub. But I wasn't obese. You know, those types were to be pitied. The ones that we saw when my mother took me to the mall to buy new fat boy pants, as she so dearly loved to call it. Oh, it's glandular, poor thing. It's not their fault. Yeah, me, on the other hand, I was definitely my fault. But I wasn't obese. However, this new boy in school, Brody, now Brody was obese. He was beyond obese. He had this new type of body, something never before seen. My classmates had Brody figured to being the fattest kid in the world. The wonder of glands, they used to call him. You know, Brody was so fat that if he dropped a ball in gym class, he couldn't pick up the ball himself. And somehow, even the real tortured freaks wouldn't touch him. Or they would just send some jock to come jog on over, compliment his sneakers, and then pick up the ball and hand it right back to him. Oh, any ball that I dropped in gym class, I got back hard. In the nuts. But I guess that's just why I did in my high school. The coaches here, the cruel and unperverted ones, the ones least known for coughing feels, well, they put me into this. They put Brody and I back to back, yards apart, and each of us was yoked up to the looped end of a tug of war rope. You know, sometimes I wondered what Brody's mother tells Brody when they start parking at the mall. Does she look at me and say, "You, my darling Brody, are glandular"? But that boy there, he's just weak. So, there were hundreds of kids in the bleachers by now. They'd cut lunch and free periods to attend, and they were chanting for him, chanting for Brody. So we got into our crouch positions, and we waited for the little ball that just began to rattle in the coach's whistle. And now I knew that the next thing that I would hear would be Brody crashing to the ground, you know, falling in shame. It took all of the coaches to carry Brody back to the nurse's station. When my classmates saw Brody in the hallway, they whispered glandular, and they felt sorry for him. Brody was out for a week. I waited days to be treated like a hero, but no dice. I was a dick. I heard the huge price. I saw Brody in the mall a few days later after that. Um, he waddled up to me in a version of my own pants, but a more benevolent color on him. And he gave me this shot of brotherhood, as if together that everything that ever happened between us could be forgotten. So, I punched Brody in the gut, and he flew back against the wall, and the blood drained from his face. Brody! Brody! Brody, you fat fucking fuck! Brody! Brody! You're killing me! My father had parented me to understand that you pay for everything here. You know, in your own time and in your own home, even. My ass, my tits, my stomach, my thighs, they were all becoming some kind of ethical equation. And what's worse is I had these huge moist boils on my chest. And I didn't know what to do. But my father, he told me not to worry and that everything was going to be all right. And that one magical summer, everything was just going to melt away from me. The same thing happened to him, he said. He even wrote a prize-winning children's book about his experience. And we had to read this book in school. And Brody decided to give a book report on it. And when he stood there in the front of the room to give his report, he looked at me right in my eyes, and he said that the author wishes to show the world how gross his son is to him. I'm sorry. You know what? I'm sorry that my father ever found my mother and made this